Historical justice and the snowflake generation. We hear a lot these days about the snowflakes wanting to go back into history and to punish people who are living today for things that happened back in history. Only problem is they probably can't prove very well with much certainty that the people living today were actual ancestors of the criminals that they'd like to have punished in the past. So they somehow get this idea they want to punish everybody. Like I said, they're on a fast track to absolute civil war in America. These snowflakies are completely nuts. Capital N-U-T-S. And basically these are people who are so bored and so just sick with boredom that they want to start a bunch of conflict, a bunch of hatred, a bunch of lawsuits, waste a bunch of money trying to track down ancestors of people so they can persecute them today. I mean, it's not even biblical. And they call themselves progressive? Like, what part of trying to track down the ancestors of people living today so you can justify beating them up and jailing them is progressive? You know, we've gone way back. We've gone way beyond regressive. We are just literally going to the minuses of the caveman days. I mean, cavemen were more civilized than the progressives today. It's insanity. Anyhow, so basically this historical justice stuff, like I said, it's not biblical. You know, the sins of the father is not, the children aren't supposed to have to suffer for the parents' sins. I mean, way back in the Old Testament, yes, they did kill the whole family. If someone did something bad, the whole family was killed. Now, I suppose that's what the Democrats like to do today, but of course they're against the death penalty, they're against all those things. But they'd like to go back into people's histories, find out, obviously they don't really want to go back in history because the Democrats will find out that their parents were the slave owners in the KKK, and they don't want to punish themselves, so they'll just say, since we want to punish everybody else, we don't have to be punished. But I said, this is beyond psychotic. Don't we have enough crime today? Don't we have enough people committing crimes right now that we have to go back into history and look for crimes that were committed like 200 years ago? It's a waste of money, a waste of resources. I said it's definitely somebody who's very bored thought of this. Probably some bored lawyer with no cases. They're thinking, oh, I can clean up if only I can start persecuting people for cases that happened 100 years ago. Don't forget, there's probably also a statute of limitations to these things. And you're obviously not going to be persecuting people for if their great-grandfather murdered somebody. You're obviously not going to start bringing these people to trial, are you? Bringing their grandkids to trial. But don't underestimate the left. The left, they're just on a crash course to civil war. They're desperate for civil war. They think they'll win, but they won't because they are so weak and they're just inefficient. They won't be able to fight a civil war. I said they're just doing a sloppy job of trying to get into one. Anyway, this historical justice thing is nonsensical, it's unbiblical, and it's also against American law. You cannot, throw the children of a murderer into prison and try them for murder because of what their parents did. You can't do that. But like I said, the leftists are going to continue to try to break down the legal system as much as they can and manipulate it. And we just can't let them because America is going down. And if we don't start working harder to defend America, we're going to be fighting a civil war. We will. It's a-coming. Maybe it won't come till 2020, but that's only a year away. The election probably will put it over the edge. So, I'll have to do another video about civil war again. All right, but like I said, historical justice, trying to punish people today for things their ancestors did, or for things there are good people and bad people in every country, in every race, in every religion, every place. So you can't say I'm going to punish the whole one because of somebody did something 200 years ago. No. But this is where we are. Generation Snowflake. Peace and prosperity has destroyed their minds. And they have to go to war. I think it's just something systemic in human beings. They have to be at war. We don't know what it is, but that's where they're going. Okay, let freedom ring.